I'm filming this sequence because I wanted to bring the concepts of how much we can warm up our arms and our shoulders before movement. When we do this kind of diverse wake-up call through all these different ranges of movement with the arms, I have found that it has really supported me through my sun salutations or through upper body strength specifically. So let's just run through them. Before we go through these actions, I want you to just really think about that when I do a thing, it might look different than how you do a thing. We're going to look at not finding like our top range of motion or movement that we can achieve. We're going to stay in this kind side of it and really pay attention. If you can't do a thing, go much smaller or don't do it at all. Also, don't do as many reps that I'm going to do. I'm going to be working on the basis of doing 20 of each of these activities with our arms. So let's just start. I'm going to take off my rings because they sometimes get in the way. So with the hands, we're going to clasp them behind the back with the palms facing each other. And so for me, you might see that I can squeeze my arms together, but what I don't want to do is squeeze and have my arms hyperextended, because they can. So I have to keep them slightly bent. That might look straight, but for me it feels quite bent. Okay, so let's just start. Clasping the hands, squeezing the shoulders a little bit together, and finding a lift and a lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower from the side. Lift and lower, lift and lower. So just continue. And as we do this, you feel a standing quality for sure in the ground, and we're looking to see that we haven't flared our ribs to do this lift. Change the interlace of the hands to have the other finger dominant, and lift and lower. But what we're also doing is paying attention to how we're breathing. Can we still breathe and do this movement where we're lifting the arms away from the back to some degree? We still have room for breath in the belly. And there we go, that's 20. So let those go and let them be easy. So just take a couple moments, maybe your eyes are closed, and you just stand with your feet a bit of a distance apart so that you have a good balance. My legs have flared pants on them, so you can't really see where they are, but they're a bit far apart. Have a moment of pausing. Okay, slowly open your eyes if they're closed. Take the elbows into the sides of the waist. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our arms out, and we're going to feel like it's coming from the arms, but what we're really going to be directing it from is from the shoulder blades. So we want the shoulder blades to be the director, and then the arms in the arm bone, because we can move our arm and we could move our shoulder blades. I'm just going to walk off the screen here to get my little man Ken and show here. So we can see that the arm has a rotation, and then it goes only so far because we've got some bones right here, up here, and back here that will stop. So we can only move the arm so far. Now Ken's shoulder blades are actually screwed in, so they're not going to do a lot of moving. But it's from this that we're going to be directing the movement in towards the spine. So these muscles that are going to be drawing it in, and we'll allow that to be the guide, and then the arm can go beyond that. So just so that you can see some of the movements and how they relate to the skeletal structure. Okay, so elbows into the waist, you'll feel this. Squeezing the shoulder blades back, and then the arms move back a little bit more. Come around, shoulder blades initiate. So this is how much my shoulder blades, then my arms go a bit more. Come back, shoulder blades, and then my arms. Shoulder blades, and then my arms. shoulder blades, and then my arms. And then it becomes kind of unified. You'll feel that you get a bit of a rhythm of taking the shoulder blades back and then the arms, and just continue. Breathing. Okay, and just one more. Good. Pause and have another moment. So let's just keep a nice wide stance of the feet. Close the eyes if it feels good, and pause. Okay, open up. We're going to roll the shoulders. So we're going to take the shoulder head forward, and it's going to go up, and it's going to go back, and it's going to come around. So as we do that kind of a movement, taking them forward, then up and around, so some of this is going to be driven by the muscles surrounding the front of the arm, and at the tops, and at the back towards the spine, and around the side ribs. So feeling that whole range as you go around and around. Driving the movement with the muscles that are up here, rather than making my arms do this movement, we're letting the arms be kind of just like letting them be a bit heavy and going along for the ride. Continue. Going as slowly as feels good. See if the circuit that you're going has an even quality, so it's going around at a similar speed. Like for example, sometimes when I take mine up, I kind of go slower and luxuriate through it and then go faster through the rest. And so what I look for is like, can I take it to the same speed as we go along? And one more. Good. Pause, close your eyes if that suits, have a moment. All right, good. So we're going to be opening and closing our hands. It really pumps the blood in a different way than we imagine. The heart doesn't really take it out and in very effectively through our arms, in that we need to kind of train the pump to be smooth, or that the blood can flow smoothly out through to our hands. And so a full spread and a full clench as we're going along. So go slower if that makes the most sense. So the hands come at the side and open and close as you lift your hands out to the side and possibly up above your head, coming back down and around. Take it in front of the chest, pumping, opening and closing, coming back up over the head, back down one more in front of the chest, down, up over the head, and down, and then we'll take this one to the back, and down, and up over the head, and down to the back, and down and up over the head. And then this time we'll take them up into the armpits and then down and relax. Close the eyes. Okay, good. Now let's clasp the hands. We're going to take them up above our heads. So what I'm imagining is that the palms are going to face away. So if that works for you, let's do that. They're going to face away. And then we're going to, again, just check to see that we're not kind of like all fluid in here, which is fine if you want to do that a different day. But we're looking to do something really specific with the arms in relation to the shoulder. So palms away and up overhead and down. And up overhead and down. Up overhead and down. So just continue. Only going so far that it feels like perhaps it's a bit of work, but it feels like it's medicine as opposed to feeling like something that is causing harm or stiffness. And when you're lifting the arms, let's stop and change the interlacing the other way. Widen the side ribs to lift. So there's a lift that's happening in this whole rib cage, as well as the armpits go a bit forward and up, and then the arms might feel like they go back a little bit. And one more. And down. Good. So let's look at our hands here. We're going to do some rotations around with our little fists. Have the elbows tight into the body. And the reason why we're doing that is so that we don't do this to move the wrists. We're just going to move the wrists. So they're just going to go around in circles. And then the other direction. Good. Now we'll do this again, but we will allow more radius ulna movement happening in the arm. So around we go. Other way. Good. Now, let's take our index finger and we're going to bring it into the palm right by the thumb. So it's going to come into this part right in here, into just by the pad. And then you'll take hold of your next finger, so that's your middle finger, and we'll pull that down a little bit. So you can play with how much you want to extend through the back of the wrist or the hand here. Sometimes I can take it out of this connection by bending that so much, so I might need to pull it back so I can feel it happening within a relationship between those two fingers, and maybe in the palm and higher up in the wrist. So just play with that kind of a positioning. It's going to be unique to you, and then let that go, but don't hurt yourself when you're doing it. It's kind of intense. Now take your middle finger into that part of the thumb base and take your ring finger back. So that's a different experience. So we let the other fingers be out. Even though I can see that my baby finger is trying to be involved in some way. And then let that go. Soften around the hand and then take the ring finger in and then pull the baby finger back to just that place is like a nerve tensioning. So it's not as much that you're stretching in here, but you're really having a relationship with what feels like the casing around the nerve. Okay, let's release that. Hold the thumb and bring it back towards the back of the forearm. So just a steady hold. Let the other fingers kind of lean out and away a little bit as this is being pulled back to some degree. Mine doesn't go really far back. There isn't the best place. It's not like, oh, we'll find, oh, that's really great because look how far it goes. No, that might be hypermobility. All right, slowly release that, soften, and then bring the thumb to the front of the forearm. Again, there is no perfect place, so just let it be where it's going to be. And still breathe. All right, slowly release that. Now here's where we're going to take, so this is my left hand, and I'm taking the heel of my right hand, and I'm putting it right to that, and I'm going to wrap my fingers around and hold. But that part of my baby finger side of my hand, or the ulnar wrist point here, of my palm, I'm going to hold that and I'm going to pull my thumb back and stretch out through the remaining fingers. So just feel that where you feel that. let that go. Okay, hello hand. Now, other one. So now this is my right hand. I'm taking the index finger into that mound, into that sort of puffy part right at the base, and taking my ring finger back. Feel the nerve tensioning where you feel it. Don't go overboard because that would be silly, right? But you'll feel something somewhere and along that line. And I find that as I do this, the more I do it, I feel different things in different regions of my palm or between my fingers or even into my wrist area. Release that, soften, and then it's your middle finger into that pad. Take your ring finger back. I'm sure you can imagine all kinds of applications for this for life. Like, what is this going to help with? Like, my daughter's taken up knitting, and I think that this would be really, really good, like knitting for life. Okay, and then take the ring finger in and pull back at the baby finger. Okay, release that. Thumb to the back, wherever it has a relationship with, to the back of your forearm. And soften. And then come into the front. So the thumb comes in towards the front. All right, soften. And then that heel of the left hand comes into this right thumb part right here. Holds onto the thumb, pulls the thumb back, but it's supporting it at the base. That's what I'm trying to indicate here with this other part of my hand. And then lengthen out through the remaining fingers. I remember when I used to just do this, it used to be really intense, but because I've done those other parts with the thumb in those other positions, this feels kind of easy. And I think that that's just interesting, really telling of the work that we do here and how it can expand and soften that whole region of the thumb. Okay, so those might feel good. We're hoping those feel good. And we'll do a couple more things with our arm movements. So one of them is the hands are going to be laced behind the back of the head like this. Shoulder blades are squeezing back, and you can find a bit of a meeting of energy. So your hands are going to lean to your head, and your head's going to lean to your hands. So feeling that kind of give and take when you do this. All right, and back, back, shoulder blades leading, arms going a little extra mile once they get back to their full backness of the shoulder blades. Breathing. And one more. And come out and down. So how do those feel? All right, we're going to clasp the hands together and we're going to take them behind the back and we'll move one elbow down. So I'm taking my right down and my left elbow is up, and then switching. I'm not so sure how fun this one is for people. It's can your shoulder blades move? Can your arms move behind the head? If not, you might need to find it in front of the head. But see that we're not doing this when we're doing it, because we'll do that later. Okay, one more one side, one more the other, and release. Wonder about those. Pause. Maybe close the eyes. Have a moment. Okay, open the eyes. Now, this is where we are going to be moving in this lateral way, and we're going to move the hips out of alignment. So it's going to be a full hip, rib, shoulder blade, arm movement. So if you take the palms towards the ceiling, feeling your weight shifting to the left foot, the left hip, and then curving over to the right. So the right side has a shorter curve coming up. And now your weight is on the right foot, curvingly, short curve on the left, and just continue. And as we do this, slowly feel this like a sinking into the foot and the hip and the waist, and this shoulder blade lifts. It goes a bit forward and up. And it's a sinking. So we might think it's a movement. We're like, oh, I'm doing a shaping. But if you think of it as a sinking and then a gradual leaning, there might be some more space for breathing and some more ease. And just see how much can you, with your internal interoception turned on and your external proprioceptors turned on, that we can feel as much as possible that the alignment of the pelvis, the lumbar, the thoracic, through the shoulders, the legs, that we're all lined up. So we're not like torqued in any way, if that's possible. You know, we don't know. I mean, there's going to be lots of imbalances that we have, and they just sort of show up in funny little ways, and we can help support them with some of the body work we do, and we may be able to see it, and we may not. But if you think about moving between two planes of glass. Okay, let's go one more. To the left foot, we're sinking, we're shifting over to the right, sinking into the right foot, curving over to the left, coming back up, and then slowly, I find my arms are a little done by this point. So let's just take them down, close your eyes. Okay, eyes open or closed, and you can just shrug your shoulders up and down. And then just soften things and massage things. Is there some other movement that your body requires? Is there something else that you'd like? We'll do just one more thing, and then you'll be ready for anything for the day. Or this has been my experience anyway. All right, let's take the right arm around, and we'll just see if I don't hit my mic. And we're going to bring it across, and so my left hand is holding my right arm. I want the right arm to be basically straight-ish, whatever that can be. And my shoulder might want to come up, so I'll bring it up on purpose, and then I'll bring it a bit down on purpose, and then I'll see if I can find something kind of neutral. And then just be here, a couple breaths. Now resist it. So the arm is here and you're pushing it into this hand, this other hand, as a way it's trying to escape, but it doesn't. Slowly let that down. Bring your other arm up, hold it into place, bring it across your chest. Have a relationship with kind of lifting it too much, the shoulder, and then too far down, and then just find that sort of just right center and holding it here. Breathing and just being aware. What I notice with myself as I start to turn to make it happen more, but really square yourself up and make it just about your arm and your shoulder blade. Find the resistance now. The arm's trying to escape, but my right hand is holding it in place. And release. Close your eyes and just stand. Check to see that maybe your feet are about hip distance apart or a little wider, and have a moment of being here. Okay, good. Open your eyes and feel what those are capable of. I do this several times a week. Sometimes I'll do that same routine twice a day. It takes me a little bit less time because I'm not talking through it. I'm just doing it as a routine. And it really sets me up super well for doing hand balances against the wall, or even just, like I said earlier, sun salutations, just to support my weight. Sometimes I'll have little crunchy, weird things happening in my shoulder, but if I do that, it's just really free. And because the shoulder blades are free, what happens is, let me just show you with my skeleton. Bring him back into frame. All right. So there are muscles that go right from the tail that travel all the way up and widen like wings that come into these ribs, these vertebrae, these shoulder blades, and then to the arm. So it's like this butterfly, or like this wing setup that connects it. So it connects the pelvis, it connects the ribs, it connects the vertebrae, it connects this shoulder blade and the arm. And so if we have like such tension all around this arm, it will affect the pelvis. So sometimes if we've got a tight pelvis, it's because of something that's going on up and around here. So if we can address that, and you can see that we have all these different sides, the shoulder blades should be able to move in and out like this. They should be able to go up and down like this, and without being screwed in. This should be able to butterfly out because it's a triangle. You'll feel that this triangle goes like that. It should be able to do that. And it can roll forward and back as well. So there's so many different movements that the shoulder blade has in relationship to the round quality of the rib cage. So think about that when we think we just move our arms, that at one point if we move our arms, then the shoulder blade's going to come with. Okay, so there's like a measured point that when you lift your arm, then all of a sudden there's a part where the shoulder blade will come in. And we need it to be able to come in so that the arm's just not hitting just bones and everything is then pulling. So doing this whole arm and shoulder routine has really freed up areas of the front of my collarbone. You can see how our shoulder girdle, it has this collarbone right here. All right, and that can get pulled all forward, this whole bundle. And because I'm also cutting hair, you know, that all can be really shortened inward. And so what I find is that it lifts, and it also has a tendency to lift at the upper back to my neck, which could kind of round for all the work that we do like that, like whether we're, you know, I mean, everybody keeps saying, oh, the iPad. Anyway. Ken here has a pretty straight back, which is unnatural. So we're not trying to emulate that. Okay, there you go. We've got a bit of shoulders, a little bit of arms. Good luck.